Part 2 of our day trips to Placencia, we focus on going with Real Deal's Belize Tours and seeing the Scarlet Macaws.
Hello, I'm Chad,
And I'm Grace.
and this is our dog Queen.
And together we are
Two gringos and a dingo. One of the first things that caught your eye when we came down here was the Scarlet Macaw
Yes.
tour. You're a birder. You love to, catalog the birds you've seen,
Right.
and you keep track of them. You have apps on your phone.
Right.
By the way, free apps
Free apps.
that will identify bird calls,
Right.
and you have a season for the Scarlet Macaw.
You do. So the Scarlet Macaws here in Belize will gather between December and March at their feeding grounds. And their feeding grounds is near Red Bank, which is about an hour's drive from Placencia, or about 40-minute drive maybe from Hopkins or thereabouts.
Now you have your choice when you take the Scarlet Macaw trip. If you have your own vehicle, you can take your own vehicle.
Yes, you can. We did that. We took our own vehicle. Keep in mind that there's dirt roads, and if you don't have a high clearance vehicle, you may not want to take your own vehicle.
And even if you do, you may want to put the beating on the tour guide's vehicle.
Right, the roads could be rough.
We went fairly shortly after some rains, and the road still had a lot of mud. It was quite a hike.
It was quite the hike. You can't guarantee where the birds are going to be. We went with Real Deal Tours with Raul Tec. He is an excellent birder, and he knew where to go to find the birds, and he took us to some different locations. Yeah. One of which, the hike, if he says to go hike up, it's up.
Yeah, up enough that at some point you're tempted to go on all fours.
Yes.
And it's after a rain, it can be quite slippery.
It can be.
We had hiking boots and stuff, and we were never in any real danger,
Right.
but it was exhausting.
It was, but
Now,
it was worth it.
There were two stops.
Mm-hmm.
The first stop was looking over a river, and it was just gorgeous.
Beautiful. And we saw the toucans.
We did.
Saw the killed-billed toucans at that location.
And the toucans have this big bill, and I never thought about how that could affect their flying.
I know, it's so
But as we watched
fascinating.
them fly, the bill was pulling them down, and they'd flap a little bit and get back up, and they'd pull them down again. So they have
Right.
this odd motion to
They
their
do,
flight.
which makes it easy to identify now a kill-billed toucan in flight because of that motion.
Yeah. But we didn't go there for the toucans. That was just a bonus.
It was.
And we did go for the Scarlet Macaws, and there are about 300 Scarlet Macaws in the country of Belize.
Correct.
We probably saw 20% of them.
Right. A large number.
And they were not terribly close by.
No.
So, the tour guide had a finder scope.
He did a very
and-
nice scope.
Yeah, and a tripod with it. So he set it up, and he was really good at following their sounds
He
and
was.
picking them out of the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a great thing to have. So if you do go, take a telescopic lens or a finder scope or something.
Or
Because,
have your guide have that.
yes. And I don't want to talk anybody out of the second part, because they had the first part, which was by the river that we mentioned.
Fairly easy hike.
That was a moderate hike. It was not hard. And when we got to it, beautiful, but the Scarlet Macaws aren't stupid. They know where you are too.
They're like, oh, bye.
Okay, I'm going to be over here if you're over there. And the guide says, just wait a little bit, they'll come over when they get used to us being here.
Mm-hmm. He was right.
And we got impatient, and we said, well, where do you think they are now? Well, they're up.
Yeah.
And so it's up. And we said, well, okay, we can go up. And then as we started the hike up, he turned to us and said, how many years do you have?
Asking our age.
And
Yeah,
it turns out
well,
that we were almost as old as the oldest people that had ever taken that hike with him. But when we got up there, we realized that our heart rate had to lower a little bit,
Yeah, we were tired.
and
It
and
was-
legs a little rubbery.
Oh yeah.
But then we were up in the area where they roost and they gather when they're not eating.
Right.
The other place was where they're feeding. Where we went the second time up higher was kind of where they exist, where they live.
Right.
It was worth the effort.
It was. It was, yeah.
And we got much, much closer to them there.
Right. They were really up in the tree right above us, so we could just literally above us. It was quite pleasant to be so close to them. You could hear them and, you know, just watch what they were doing in their interactions. Beautiful birds.
And I've seen a lot of parrots in my life. I've seen, you know, a lot of birds. The Scarlet Macaw was different. They reminded me of something almost mythical.
They are gorgeous.
Yeah.
They're huge. They can have a very, very large wingspan. Their tail is extremely long as well. And they're very slow reproducing species. So that's why they're considered, there's concern for the Scarlet Macaws in Belize because their habitats are being taken away and their numbers are not multiplying as fast as the Audubon Society would like them to be.
And there are people that hunt them for their feathers.
Oh yes, or want to hunt them for the exotic pet trade.
But so a trip that is not built for comfort, but absolutely worth any discomfort you experience on the trip, because it's not something you see just anywhere.
And when you keep in mind, when you book this tour, the tour is going to leave early. You could leave anywhere from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. potentially from Placencia. The birds feed in the morning when they wake up, and sunrise here is about 5:30 in the morning, so
Yeah.
you have to get up early to see the birds.
Yeah,
But it's well worth it.
Yeah, if you get up leisurely, have your breakfast, and go out there at 10:30 or 11, good luck.
You might, yeah.
You might
later
see
in the
some, you
season,
might
you might
not.
find them more often, kind of later in the morning. But early in the season, they said usually it's very early in the morning that you'll see them at the feeding grounds.
They do have a definite migration within the country.
Right.
They go to different areas to feed at different times. And it's because they're very particular about what they're eating, and so their food source grows in special spots.
So, in Red Bank is the spot that they between December and March. So, check them out sometime.
If you're a birder, believe me, it'll be your bucket list.
Yep.
We thoroughly enjoyed our tour with Real Deal Belize Tours and Raul as a tour guide. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing to our channel.